Hey, what's up? This is Sully from Godsmack. Strap on those boots, baby, because you are now in the trenches of the war room with the one and only Mistress Carrie right here on the Mistress Carrie podcast.
What's up? This is Joe Rogan, and you're listening to Mistress Carrie.
Her hair so lovely. Pretty eyes.
Hey, this is Brent from Shinedown, and you're listening to Mistress Carrie. Hey, Carrie, go put your bra on, girl.
Hey, this is Steven Tyler, and you be listening to the baddest bitch in Boston, Mistress Carrie.
What's up? This is Aaron from Stain, and you're listening to Mistress Carrie.
Hi, everybody. This is Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters, and you're listening to the one, the only Mistress Carrie.
Hey, this is David from the band Disturbed, and you're listening to the baddest bitch in Boston, Mistress Carrie.
Hi, Bruce Dickinson here from Iron Maiden. Yes, indeed, Miss Whiplash herself, Mistress Carrie, is here to unchain your brain.
Hi, this is Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You're listening to Mistress Carrie.
This is Dennis Leary. You are listening to my favorite, Mistress Carrie.
Hey, this is Corey from Stone Sour, and you have the privilege of listening to Mistress Carrie. Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
Hey, it's Mistress Carrie, reporting for duty from MCHQ for episode 300 of the Mistress Carrie podcast. I just got back from my trip to Las Vegas and the #Happens convention, and one of the people I met was singer, songwriter, and actor Kurt Deimer, otherwise known as The Grog. He's getting ready to release his new horror comedy movie, Scared to Death, on March 13th, and his new album, A Grog is Born, is coming out on May 8th. Who is The Grog? What's it like to work with Geoff Tate from Queensryche, Josh Todd from Buckcherry, and Phil X from Bon Jovi? Well, you're about to find out. Allow me to introduce you to Kurt Deimer. Kurt!
What's up?
How are you?
I'm doing really good. I just got to LA yesterday from Vegas, where I was blessed to get to meet you, and I appreciated that.
Did you get sick in Vegas like I did?
No, I didn't, but I'm sorry you did.
I have been dying. Every time I go to Vegas, I get a cold. Like, obviously, there's just dirty fingers touching everything in Vegas because I get the Vegas sickness every time I go.
Yeah. I get the Vegas sandy eyes and dry eyes, and I can't see. So something in the air in Vegas, and it's not good.
You would think that all the booze would kill whatever virus I pick up, but that was not the case.
No, I think in my case, it's vodka and water, so I'm always rehydrating. I just drink vodka. I quit drinking beer years ago. And the nicotine, because I like to smoke. And I don't think germs want to live in this body. They just don't.
Think germs want to live in this body.
Yeah, it's like a shield. I don't know. I just live in the rhythm every day. I eat very little, what I want to eat. I just eat till I'm full, and I have a routine, and you just got to stick to it and don't have doctors pumping medicine in you.
Well, if the music career and the horror movie career doesn't pay off, you could be one of those fitness influencers that just drinks and smokes and tells you that you're going to live forever. Because you probably will.
Give everybody tips on how to not be stressed. Because I think stress is what kills a lot of people, and then it creates these problems, and they get on this medication. You know how many people go off blood pressure medication if they quit drinking 15 beers a day? It'd be incredible. I lost 50 pounds when I quit drinking beer and feel like a champ, but because I was like a walking human brewery.
And now it's just vodka.
Kurt Deimer ultra premium vodka is coming out because that's all I've drank since 22. We did a show up in Connecticut. Phil X and I were on touring out together doing some of our new songs, and we did the band, Kurt Deimer, but Phil was in it. And I came out of a show. I was still drinking beer. And Phil goes, "Man, you sound out of breath." I mean, it made my voice all sticky. And I looked at him. I was kind of pissed at first. And now I tell everybody in an interview, he changed my life, man. And said, yeah, he's right. And I'm not going to drink another beer. And that was it.
You know who swore?
So thank you, Phil X.
You know who swore about the power of vodka? The late, great Vinnie Paul used to say that too, that he stopped drinking pretty much everything else but vodka, and he said he felt great.
Right. It probably added years to his life.
Not only that, but
I
think he was able to recover faster too, because that guy partying with Vinnie Paul was a sport, a combat sport.
Yeah, vodka doesn't give you the hangover that beer did, and you sleep better. You don't get sleep apnea. I think a lot of sleep apnea is because you drink a lot of beer and your body's just brewing beer all night, and it just messes with your whole metabolism. And vodka, I'm drinking just pure water with it and ice, and there's no sugar. I don't put fruit in it. Used to put lime at the beginning, but then I was killing my stomach. But you wake up and you feel hydrated and you don't have a hangover. So it's beautiful. But you got to drink it in moderation. You drink too much vodka, it's bad. It'll turn bad for you. But I think it kills germs seriously in my body.
Well, you're talking about how your own vodka's coming out, the album's coming out, the movie's coming out. For a guy that says people should swear off of stress, how are you not stressed juggling everything that you're doing?
Well, because I do everything I'm doing is something I always wanted to do. The dream of the kid. And I was a mess back then with anxiety and all that. I was doing drugs, quit all that at 20, but heavy drugs. And I just knew I needed to get my shit together. And, I got my degree, a bachelor's degree in English literature at the University of Cincinnati. My dad worked for Gulf and Chevron Oil that we moved around as a kid. I lived in 11 cities before I finished high school. That was a nightmare. But I just learned how to adapt and overcome situations, overcome my own demons, figure out what was wrong with me with the panic and anxiety. I just had to figure everything out in life on my own. And I think that's what's helped me get to where I am today. And now I'm doing what I wanted to do then, while the other stuff I built's running itself. And I can just relax. I'm having a ball. I get to create things, get shit out of my brain, share it with people, spread peace, love, kindness, common sense to everybody, and just give people hope in this dark world that there is somebody out there who cares about them, and he's sharing a story. And if you like my music, great. If you don't, great. I'm just going to do what I do the way I do it. And I love doing movies. I love morphing into all these crazy characters. It's peaceful for me. It's no stress at all. So I love what I do for everybody.
What dream was first, being a musician or being in movies when you were a kid?
I had a band in college called the Circus Birds in Cincinnati around the time the Afghan Wigs were coming out of there. And that was my first. I thought would love to be in a band, but I had panic and anxiety, and it was really hard for me to do. And I was still drinking a lot. I had quit the drugs by then, but I still drank heavily. And so I guess that was first. I never thought I'd be in a movie ever until I went to do a cameo in 17. I think it was September of 17, called Trading Pain. And then they needed a track announcer to shoot the final scene to interview Toby Sebastian from Game of Thrones. And they liked my look. I used to wear like these cool sport coats over my T-shirts back then. And they liked the vibe. They liked the outfit I had with me or on me. And next thing I know, I'm shooting a scene with John Travolta, planning it out with John Travolta, Shania Twain, Michael Madsen, rest in peace, and Toby Sebastian and more from Game of Thrones. And that's how it all started. Then I got into Halloween 2018, got killed by Michael Myers. Was walking the red carpet, for that movie in LA, and thought, I love this. I'm going to become a lead actor. And then I shot Hellbilly Hollow that'll come out in theaters this fall, and the rest just kept going, and now here we are.
Getting killed by Michael Myers is a resume thing for anyone that loves movies. When you can say, I got killed in a Halloween movie, that's cool forever.
Not only a Halloween movie, but the John Carpenter Halloween, the original sequel, the original. And then this was the first sequel. Then they did two more after the one I was killed in. So, yeah, that's a short list. It's not a short list, but it's not a big list, so it's pretty cool.
When it comes to music, you said you moved around a lot, and I think in adolescence, music becomes like your best friend. It becomes that place where you can, you know, you can express your emotions through all of the music. And as a music fan myself, but someone that cannot make it, it's how I kind of deal with the highs and lows of life. So when you were a kid, what was the soundtrack to your childhood? What were you listening to?
I'd go up to that, remember when convenience stores had the little record bin in them and you could just go through some of the select albums. And I love going to record stores, but even the real ones. But AC/DC, I had the Highway to Hell album. I jammed to Boston a lot, the first two albums of Boston in my room on my little portable record player. When Feeling Satisfied would come on, I jammed to that, air guitar. The Cars, I liked the Cars back then. Rush, Cheap Trick. Then as the 80s got more and more into the other, I like the Hoodoo Gurus is one of my favorite bands out of Australia. The Smiths, REM. I liked a lot of that stuff. Then when the 90s came, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, it just kind of just more. But then I also like the Grateful Dead and I like reggae music and I like all kinds of music. And I think that's really helped me kind of mold my sound, just stay true to who I am. And those, like AC/DC taught me. And Van Halen, I love Van Halen. They taught me just be true to who you are, stay within yourself. If 1% of the people like it, you're going to be okay in the world. And of course, there's a lot of music I don't like, but the thing I hate about the world now is people that say nasty things to people on the internet. I can't stand it, but I just ignore it because I know I don't like certain things, but doesn't mean I'm just not going to listen to it. I'm not going to say something mean about it. There's just too many mean people around.
There's a difference between loving music and being a musician. I love music.
Yeah.
Am not a musician. Most definitely cannot write songs. So when did you figure out that you could be a musician and write songs as opposed to just being a music fan?
Well, I thought when I quit the cover band, the Circus Birds, that was the end of music for me. I mean, I had grown, my parents got me piano lessons at 7. I was first kick chair percussionist in the concert band in middle school. And, I was good decent at it. Like, I can't shred on a guitar or anything, but I could sit at a piano and make up songs with that by ear. So I knew I could do that, but I thought it was pretty much done. But then when I got in the movie, then I was in Halloween, and then I was shooting Hellbilly Hollow, which will come out this fall. I met this guy named Ben Trexel in Birmingham at the studio I was hanging out with Kevin Wayne, and he had 3 tunes. He sounded like a wedding singer on them, and they weren't very powerful. And I go, I used to sing. I don't know if I can do it now, but I have a different, unique voice. And we cut these, and then we started writing more songs. And then I took those songs to LA eventually. And as COVID hit, we tried to call some mixers, and Chris Lord Alge answered and said, yeah, I'd love to see if I can help Kurt and mix his songs. And we've been best friends ever since. And he's had my back ever since. And he said, you can do this. We'll keep doing it until it hits. And I'm a very persistent guy. And if you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to. And here we are today because Chris believed in me. And we're still great friends, and we still work on everything. He pretty much brought me back to life, being able to sing. Now I have range in my voice. You'll see from And So It Begins, the first album, to A Grog is Born, which is coming out in May. I'm singing everything now, and my range is higher. And plus, I've toured like crazy for the last 3-4 years, which has helped. So I feel great. And I'm doing what I love to do that I thought I'd never be able to do. But that's how it all unfolded. I could do rock now and change people's lives, help others. And then I can incorporate the songs that I do into my movies, and I can do movies, which I love when they say roll, and I can add, they let people, directors let me ad lib and all that because it comes easy to me. And it's just all kind of coming together now. So
Chris
I
is
love
no
sharing that
slouch.
No, he's awesome.
Like, for people that don't know who he is, he's worked with everybody. Green Day, like, his resume is insane.
Yeah, and for me to just reach out randomly, and the guy who was managing me at the time, that didn't last very long, reach out, say Chris said he'd mix your demo, and then for Chris to like me as a person and believed in what I was writing and trying to say, and he knew my voice was rough at first and pitch was rough, but we kept working and working. I don't know how many days I've spent in that vocal booth in his Mix LA studio, but that's pretty much where he brought me to life at. So, and we never gave up, and I kept writing songs. Phil X kept writing songs with me. Ben wrote all those original songs with me. I've had a couple other writing partners, but it's a beautiful thing. You know? And I write most of my songs at night, while I'm having a little vodka water. Just comes into my head.
Phil X, another guy that's no slouch. He's obviously the guitar player in Bon Jovi, but he's one of those guys that when people need a great rock guitar player, he's one of the guys that people call.
We met because of Chris, because my first song I ever put out, and then it's on And So It Begins, and the first video I ever put out, Ben had always wanted to do a cover of Pink Floyd's Have a Cigar, but I couldn't envision how I would do that. It's totally different than my voice. And I played it for Chris one day in the studio. I said, Ben's been wanting me to cover this. And he goes, dude, this would be a great cover, and I know exactly how you're going to do it. And he laid it out, and that's how Have a Cigar came about. And he put the musicians on it, and it happened to be Phil, and he wouldn't tell me that at first. And Phil nailed that solo in that song in one take. Chris didn't want him to change anything, even though Phil thought he had to. And Brian Tishy played the drum parts on it, and I think Phil did the bass too. And we've never not played that song at any show because it's so different than Pink Floyd's version.
Well, I was going to say you played that in Vegas when I just saw you last week.
Yep, we played that. I couldn't do it the way I do it usually live because it was the sound in there was really hard on the in-ears, but it's a powerful song, and it's a way different take on that. I would never want to do a cover which sounds exactly like the band that did it. That would be disrespectful. But to turn it into our vision and the way we do it, and it's true to who we are. So,
well, you mentioned A Grog is Born, which is the new album that's coming out May 8th. And in true fashion, you've got another cover. And when I saw the video teaser of this song and who you worked on it with, my inner fan freaked out because, in my opinion, one of my Stranded on a Desert Island albums is Operation Mindcrime. So the fact that you're working with Geoff Tate from Queensryche on this record, doing a version of Silent Lucidity from Empire, is insane.
It is. I thought that myself when he agreed to do it. I had that vision of him on MTV back in the day with orchestra doing it. His voice is so amazing. He gave me the chance. My first tour was with Geoff Tate in 2020, fall of 21. And we did a song Burn Together, which is on And So It Begins. And did a video for that with him and Phil X, which was surreal. And then a few years, I had recorded Silent Lucidity with just me. It was November 2020, I think the 12th of November. I remember that because my grandma lived to be 106, and we couldn't visit her in the nursing home, and she died the next day after I cut the first vocals for Silent Lucidity. So then we just sat on it for a while. And a couple years later, we always wanted to put it out. So let's call Geoff. I mean, he might do it. And he agreed to do it. We shot a music video of us doing it in Chris's studio. And then we're doing it. I said, Geoff, this song, was about a dream and all that. When Queensryche did it, Geoff and I were talking about it. I go, well, it's always meant to me that those we lose, like my grandma and everybody, they're up in heaven looking down on us, and in silent lucidity. It's just silent lucidity. And he loved that. I go, let's bring attention to suicide awareness. He loved that, which the video does. And I think it's going to have a very powerful impact on society and rock radio and all that. And to have Geoff reinvent it with me for the 2020s now, or this time in life, it's not anything like the original, but it is in a way where you can listen to the one, then listen to the other, and you'll hear the difference in the times, if you will. So, I can't wait for it. It's coming out in April.
The topic of mental health and suicide awareness, it comes up on the show over and over again, because the idea that hard rock and heavy metal is bringing this to the forefront and leading the discussion in all of this is something that I don't think people would have predicted years ago. But there's so many different artists that have been so open and talking about their own struggles and really taking the stigma off of this. It's really helping. And it's amazing how many artists are just opening up this discussion and saying, you know what, there's no reason why people should be afraid to talk about this. We're all this rock and metal community, and we're here for each other. Who would have thought the freaks of the world would be the one doing the most good?
Well, maybe if you peel away the layers of a lot of the people, I don't know everybody, but me, I mean, you probably wouldn't look at me as somebody who preaches peace, love, common sense, everybody be kind to each other. I'll share my story. I'll tell you I did acid. I'll tell you I was addicted to cocaine. I'll tell you had to go to the hospital like 6 times before I was 20 to get a Valium because I thought I was dying. And it's just, we all go through things in life, and you got to you either figure it out or you're done. And if I can help people really look inside themselves and share my stories, and other rock stars are sharing their stories, I think it helps people realize there's hope, and you don't have to live in that one phase of your life that is one you don't really want to remember. But if you hide it from everybody, then you're just being fake. I mean, this is my life. This is what I went through. I had panic and anxiety disorder my whole 20s. I thought I was dying every day. I could barely talk to somebody in a meeting. It's terrifying. But if I can help people realize that I went through that and figured it out, your brain's not making serotonin like normal people's, then if I can help save a life that way and help save somebody from committing suicide, I owe it to share my story. And I'm proud of what I've done to overcome all that. So I just want to be that voice that people can count on, because I've lived it.
Well, the album is called A Grog is Born. And for anybody that doesn't know who the Grog is, tell me who the Grog is.
Well, the album, we weren't sure what we were going to call it, and management we were just trying to figure it out. And I have my first big film that I star in alongside Lynn Shay and Bill Moseley. Lynn Shay from Insidious, about Mary, and Bill Moseley, my favorite movie, The Devil's Rejects. And I got this opportunity because Paul Boyd had seen my acting in Hellbilly Hollow, which I haven't put out yet, where I'm a crazy Southern psycho, and we have the first horror duo, Bull and Tickles. So I was sitting on that, and I'm like, well, if I can go into this movie, I love the script. Paul created The Grog, which he said don't change who you are at all. I don't want you to change your voice like a hillbilly or do any of this stuff. I want you to be the Grog. You are the Grog. Kurt Deimer is the Grog, just the way you are, the way you live, all that. I said, well, that's cool. And he goes, you're a horror icon. And Lynn Shay and Bill Moseley are interested. I go, oh, really? Like, this is kind of unbelievable. So Lynn and Paul and I, we tweak some of the stuff. Lynn's in the character she should be in. Bill is shown as somebody like he's never been portrayed in any of his other movies. More clean cut, but crazy. And I said, Paul, put me in the room with them. I'll show you that I can do just what they have been doing in their great careers. And we'll just introduce the Grog to the world and let people know you can hop on the Grog's back, and the Grog will help you get through life because it's all about peace and love and kindness. And he gave me that opportunity, and Bill ended up saying Kurt's one of the funniest straight men I've ever worked with. Lynn and I, we all ad-lib stuff, and it gave me a chance to prove that I could do this and do it at a high level, and I could do it in anybody's movie, so I can morph into anything. So then when I was sitting around and I knew the movie was going to be coming out, we didn't know if it was going to hit theaters or not, or who was going to want to get behind it. This was a few months ago. I just said, look, I'm the Grog. I was thinking of Barbara Streisand's A Star Is Born. And I said, go back to that font that they used on that, and we're going to call the album A Grog Is Born. I have this picture. I had this lost mom at 24, and I'm like, I got really cool because I had just gone through all her. I had to do everything with the how. I'm the only surviving family member of my family of 4. And so I had to go through all the old pictures, and there's that picture of me and mom and dad when they took me probably to J.C. Penney or Sears, and you made the photo appointment, and there's little Kurt when he's born. And I told Paul and our editor, Ed, I said, now just take this photo raw like it is. It's going to be cool retro cover, but then put my little tickler, we call this the tickler, my beard. I go put the tickler on me and some tats on my arms, and A Grog Is Born. And then the insert is me, the Grog at 20, and then me a couple years ago, and because it's a double album, I love double albums. That was so cool back when we were kids. And then on the back is just me as like a 4-year-old with the Grog. Everything, I have the Grog beard and all that. And where all the songs will be listed. And I'm just sitting in a little chair with my legs crossed, my little white knee socks, and my little boots. So it's going to be anything. If you don't like my music, you might think the album cover's cool or the back or whatever. And it just shows me as a human. And here we can all be reborn. We can all be born. We can all change our lives. And I thought it would be appropriate to tie it to the movie because In Deep is on A Grog Is Born, and in the movie Live or Die from And So It Begins is on my first album, And So It Begins. And then I wrote the Scared to Death theme song, and they're all on the album. So tie it all together. A Grog Is Born. Here we go.
You're talking about Scared to Death, which is the movie that hits theaters next week.
Yeah, it'll be up in, I know there's theaters up in your area that is coming out, but yeah, people are already buying tickets. Even since we saw each other last week, more theaters are adding, and there's a lot of people that just can't wait to go see it at the theater, and people read good reviews. And I think it's because of it's an ensemble cast. It's horror comedy. It's not CGI'd to death. It's like something that hasn't been in theaters in a while, and you can have fun. It's like going to a play, but you're at a movie, and it's really cool, and people really feel like they're in this predicament like we are. And I get to play this horror character, the Grog, who's portrayed as he's a horror icon, who's actually been in over 200 horror movies over his life. And if you got to stay on the credits, because then the posters of all my old movies come up, and there's so many ways we can go with it as the world embraces it. And I just can't wait to be the Grog the rest of my life, and Kurt Deimer and whatever else. So
The movie is going to come out in theaters, then obviously it'll be available video on demand. All of that leading up.
Early May when the album comes out. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say, leading up to the release of the album. So all of this, like a lot of the great horror movies that we grew up watching, always had this marriage of amazing rock soundtracks, right? You go back to, Dawkins and Nightmare on Elm Street and all of that stuff, that rock and roll has always kind of owned the horror genre or the horror comedy genre too.
Yeah, I agree. I remember all that. And I like even Hellbilly Hollow, when it comes out in theaters this fall, it's got 8 of my early songs in it. And we'll definitely have a soundtrack with that one. And Scared to Death, it's got In Deep, which you've heard, that's climbing the radio charts right now, featuring Josh Todd from Buckcherry. That's in the movie. Live or Dies in the movie. We play that live. And it's a great fit. And you can really, I think you'll start to see rock being more, even come back as being more utilized in movies and crossing over into the horror genre, because it's a great fit, It's really cool.
You talk about these iconic vocalists. Like when you hear Geoff Tate, it's Geoff Tate. It's not anybody else. When you hear Josh Todd, it's Josh Todd from Buckcherry and not anybody else.
Yeah. And I think, everybody has their own style. They stick to as long as you stick to who you are and stay within your limits. I think, truly my goal is eventually for one of my songs comes on a Touch Tunes or on the radio or anything, that people will go, oh, that must be Kurt Deimer. That must be the Grog. There he is. There's that voice. And you heard AC/DC. That's AC/DC, and those are the bands I love, and that's what I'm hoping to accomplish for all of you. So, that's Kurt Deimer. That's that low, raspy, whatever. I don't know. It's been described so many ways, but that's what I'm going to do to stay true to me. And like I said, you either like it or you don't. Everybody doesn't like the same topping on their pizza. So.
Yeah, I've gotten into the debate about the pineapple I like on my pizza, and I refuse to back down. It's fucking delicious.
What you like. But, then you get people who go, you like, then they make fun of you on the internet or say cruel things. It's like, why don't you just shut up? She likes pineapple on her pizza. Shut the fuck up and carry on. That's how the Grog feels.
You talk about this picture that's on the album cover and going through all of this stuff. My sister and I just lost our mom a little over a year ago, and we were doing that same thing of going through those old JCPenney's photos and all of the horrible outfits we got put in as kids, and kind of going through basically a time capsule of your entire life. Like, our mom saved some weird stuff. She saved our teeth. She saved everything. My mom saved everything. Like, I got her the house when she moved up. My grandma, we moved her into the home. They were in Florida. My dad died in 2016. So when he died, I have her band now still. We use it for the band, if people need to ride when they're at rehearsals, right? Because we rehearse out of my hometown. And so I've got her van. She saved my sister's BMW because my sister died in 2013, and fixed that up, gave it to my niece, her only daughter. So I had that, but then she had a basement full of boxes, everything. They moved this over the country for their whole life, and it was very overwhelming. And I just couldn't believe it. She had my grandma's stuff, everything. So I know what you're talking about. And I go through this drawer in the bathroom. I found a box of thermometers that she used to use on me as a kid. I found the jar of Vaseline that she used back when I was a kid. I mean, she kept all that stuff. It was nuts. And it was, I don't know. I like to throw stuff away that I don't need, but I couldn't believe it. My mom definitely loved the history of the Deimer family, and that's what I went through. I'm still going through it. So People wonder why Gen X is so insane. And it's like, look, they used to stick tubes of glass filled with mercury up our ass when we were little kids. Today, that would be considered child abuse and dangerous, but that's how we grew up. Of course, we're all nuts now.
Yeah. And then you get the rub Vaseline on you, and you get a little headache. They pop you with 12 St. Joseph chewable aspirin. She had those still, too. It's like crazy.
You come in with a giant tub of Vicks, smearing it all over you when you were a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, my mom, she's a good mom. She took care of me. But if I was sick, she'd always know. I didn't eat sausage on pizza for my whole life until about 15, 20 years ago, because my mom told me one time I got sick because I ate Italian sausage on the pizza. So I thought, where I really just got sick, always trying to make me feel better. Or I'd go out drinking when I was like 11. I started drinking beer, I think 11 or 12, and we'd always go to church every Sunday. And some Sundays weren't very good. I'd be sick in the back. Oh, you got the flu. You'll be okay. I'm like, Mom, you're just so naive. But she's a sweetheart. So
the Grog mom.
The Grog mom. She'd take my weed pipes and all. She'd find my stuff and yell at me for about 1 minute, hide it up in her closet. I know where it was. I just go get it, put it back, put it back. She just was that mom. I cut class all the time in high school. I had to do like 60 days detention to graduate high school. I hated high school. I knew how to get C's, though, to graduate. That's what I did. And sometimes I'd cut and I'd look in the back. I was going to get a courtesy cup of bong water at McDonald's, and there'd be Mom sitting behind my Trans Am, honking with her face. But she was cool.
Wait, what year Trans Am did you have in school?
I think it was a 75 or 76 blue Trans Am with the T-tops and the black louver on the back window. And I thought it was shit back then, And then I ended up driving a little crazy, and because I was still doing the drugs and stuff, and it turned in from this beautiful Trans Am. Then my sister got it for a while, and then it turned into the Dentam, and then that was the end of it.
Oh, that car would probably be worth a ton now.
Yeah, my first car probably would be too. I cut lawns. I had a lawn business when I was in middle school. I've always worked. I worked all through high school. I love working more than studying. And I made $500 a week. We lived in Houston where the grass grows all the time. So I started a lawn business in the neighborhood with a moped and a trailer, and I made $500 a week and bought my first car before I turned 16. And it was a 73 Camaro. And I put lift on the back. It had the vinyl top, and I had the louvers. And yeah, wish I had both those cars.
My first car was a Renault Alliance, and it burst into flames while I was driving it on the highway. Not as cool as a Camaro by any stretch of the imagination. I bought it off a little old Italian lady that used to come into my grandfather's bakery. And good luck finding a Renault Alliance anywhere in the United States.
Oh, yeah. You can, yeah.
The French do a lot of things well, but not make automobiles.
No, just ones that burn up on the highway.
Yeah. It was so brutal. I was late for work. And this was before cell phones. So it was like I had to get to a payphone and be like, yeah, my car exploded. I'm trying to get home. Brutal.
Yeah. Oh, the things we had to survive. You had that moment. We just drove through Oklahoma on our way to Vegas before I saw you, and we were on 40. And I remember I went with a couple buddies when I was 18 down to our school. The cheerleaders from our school were doing the Fiesta Bowl, so we went down there and just to party our whole way there and back and just be stupid. And I passed this point. I showed my bus driver, my assistant. I go, somewhere in this little zone right here is where I was doing bongs with my buddy Herman in the back seat while Ray's driving his Capri with T-tops. And then I took over at like 3 a.m, and about an hour later I fell asleep, and we flipped this car 3 times right here on this highway.
No
so
way.
We all walked away from it. We crawled out the window. I even crawled back in to hide the bomb in a suitcase, and it ended up being raised. So I totaled his car, ruined all of his clothes, all in about 30 minutes.
Are you guys
But I
still
lived,
friends,
and
or
here
has
I-
he forgiven you by now?
Herman, I don't see anymore. He kind of disappeared. But Ray actually has been to see me play in Peoria, which isn't far from his home, and we laugh about it. And we're really good friends still, and we laugh about that moment and never forget when we got off the plane, because we had to fly from Oklahoma City back to Chicago. Ray's dad thought he was in Florida. I was supposed to fly home and not drive home with him. Herman was supposed to be home with Ray from Florida, and he wasn't in Florida. And our dads were just sitting there waiting when we got off that plane. That's when you could go to the gate, and there they were. So I also busted what Ray told his parents, and I didn't even know it. And my dad's just standing there looking at me like, my dad was, Ray's dad was pretty pissed, but he thought Ray was in Florida. So, plus all his shit was totaled by me.
Well, 2026 is going to be a huge year for Kurt Deimer and the Grog, or the Grog. Is that?
Yeah, I think I told social media, let's add Kurt Deimer, and then you put AKA the Grog, so everybody can find me.
You got 2 movies coming out, a new album coming out. What else are you working on? I'm assuming touring is going to be a big priority for you this year.
Yeah, we're playing Earth Day Birthday, with 3 Days Grace and all those great bands. We're doing that in March, and then around that, we're going to test out what I think would be big across all over the U.S. first, then Canada, then take it overseas, where we should start headlining and incorporate the movies, maybe even show. We're going to show Scared to Death at these shows, meet the Grog, meet and greet the band, everybody. Then we're going to do a headline rock show with our video wall, and we can even show the movie on the video wall, and really just present Kurt Deimer, a.k.a. the Grog, to the world, and take that concept all over the U.S., partnering with radio and all the different radio stations. I'd love to take it to the armed forces and to their bases and help charities and all that. And I think it's a different way to present rock and roll tied to horror, in one show, and really make it a nice night for anybody that wants to go out and have fun. It's all about having fun and taking care of each other. So we're going to do one in Jacksonville in March. We're doing one in Orlando and Tampa with WJRR and some of the other stations. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully that'll be coming to a city near you soon, all over the country.
Well, I'm playing the single with Josh Todd right now in Portland, Maine, so you got to get up that way.
Portland, we have a lot of fans up there. The only show I've done in Portland, what's that theater up there, or that venue that's right? It's pretty I can't remember the name.
The State
but I played
Theater.
There with Josh.
The State Theater Aura.
Yeah, I think it was the State Theater, and ironically, you're playing in deep, and the only time I played in Portland was us and Buckcherry, and it was a sold-out show. So we'll be back, and Portland definitely has been calling, and New Hampshire. We've got a lot of fans in the whole Northeast, so I can't wait to get back up there.
Well, the Northeast likes its rock music, and it's finally starting to warm up a little bit. I got to Vegas and it was 82 degrees. I didn't even pack shorts because I left the blizzard to go to Vegas, and I had to go buy shorts because it was too freaking hot. So hopefully the snow is done. We got it all out of our system, and hopefully it'll be spring soon.
Yeah, it should be. I hope. I can't. The cold, I'm just tired of the cold, but we can take the cold because you and I have lived in the cold, but it sure is nice when you can just not worry about freezing. It does a lot for your soul, but it makes you tough to deal with the cold. So
once you get through St. Patrick's Day, usually it's good after that.
Yeah.
We got an
I
April
agree.
Fool's Day blizzard one year that was just brutal. Because I was like, come on, man. We're supposed to be playing baseball soon. Can you just be done? So we're almost there. We're almost done.
You're getting close.
We're getting close.
You guys just got dumped on, though, right? My son lives in Boston, so that you got some tail end major snow.
It was brutal. My flight to Vegas got canceled.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had to reschedule it because my flight got canceled because the blizzard was so bad. The airport was shut down, not even just because of the snow, but because of the high winds. It was nuts.
Oh, geez. Well, you made it. I'm thankful we got to meet you. You're an amazing person. So.
Well, it was great to meet you. I appreciate you coming on the show. And for anybody that loves horror and comedy, and of course rock music, The Grog, aka Kurt Deimer, has got a little bit of everything for everybody.
Here we go. Let's keep everybody become a Grog. I think that my guys have been saying, what are we going to call fans of the Grog? I go, Grogs. We're all the Grogs. And I'm the Grog. And it's just it's about coming together, helping others, and that's what the Grog's all about. So I think the world needs some more positivity and just people to help lead people, into the world of kindness. And we've forgotten so much of that. And if I can make a little bit of a difference, I'll do that the rest of my life. So.
Thank you so much. I know that it's been crazy busy today with everything with the movie and the album coming out and stuff, so I appreciate the time.
Oh, well, I will always come on anytime, and you ever need anything, you let me know. And tomorrow we'll be shooting a music video for True, and always there on Thursday. I'm stoked about that, so stay tuned.
There he is, Kurt Deimer. The new horror comedy movie, Scared to Death, hits theaters on March 13th. And then video on demand coming up in April. The new album, A Grog is Born, gets released on May 8th. If you want to hear some of Kurt's music, all you got to do is click the link for the custom playlist in the show notes of this episode. I make a playlist for every full-length episode of the Mistress Carrie podcast that features all of my guest music and all the artists and songs that we referenced in the interview. You'll also find all of Kurt Deimer's links and all the Mistress Carrie links. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe to the Mistress Carrie podcast. New full-length episodes come out every Wednesday. Plus, every weekday, you get the Sit Rep. The Situation Report gives you all of your rock news, music headlines, and entertainment updates in about 5 minutes. And you never know when we're going to release a bonus episode. Join me live every Tuesday night at 8:30 Eastern for my weekly streaming video show, Cocktails in the War Room, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. And you can always find me on the radio. Get the details on all of that and more at MistressCarrie.com. The Mistress Carrie Podcast, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network.